Hello and welcome to That Man, and today we are talking about my entire manga collection. That's right, it's a manga collection video. Hooray! I've never actually done one of these before because, quite frankly, there's a reason. That's right, all of my manga is in a cupboard next to the beer, because you always have to have beer when reading manga, unless you don't drink beer, and then you've always never got to have beer next to the manga. So yeah, because of that, because I don't have them on shelves displayed, I picked having figures. Yeah, they just sit in the cupboard, so I can't just show them off as easy. So since it's Christmas, I thought I'll show you my entire collection, plus a dib dab or two. The first two to talk about is Captain Harlock and Cutie Honey. That's right, from the classic collection. These are just volume, well, this is the entire of Cutie Honey. This is volume 1 of Captain Harlock. And yeah, great titles that I have never read. No, actually, these are the two titles of the classic collection I actually have read. Harlock, absolute fantastic. Never needed to feel like I needed the rest. I will get them eventually. Cutie Honey, slightly less fun, but still, both classics in their own right. Just like High School of the Dead. Next up, we have this one that I revealed a few months ago. In fact, it might have been the very first manga haul that I did. Space Battleship Yamato. I've never read it. And finally, from the classic collection is Devilman Part 1. Another one that I have never read. But they look nice in the collection, don't they? That's right, they look nice, and that's all that matters. Next up is The Drifting Classroom by Kazuo Umezu. Yes, I did actually read this one. This one was a fantastic read. This is only volume 1, but it's a fantastic read if you like your horror series. I will eventually get round to reading all of these classic ones, but for some reason, they're big, massive books, and I'm just kind of like, can't be bothered, I need something quick. And I don't know why, they're just kind of sat on the shelf. I will be making an effort over the Christmas holidays to at least read these two, and probably reread the other two as well, because they are very worth reading. And this one, yes, another one that is absolutely fantastic. These sit in pride on my shelf alongside Monster Girl Encyclopedia. But that's a light novel, and we're not talking about light novels, we're just talking about manga. There will be a light novel one another day. The first series to talk about is, no matter how I look at it, it's your guys' fault I'm not popular, which is actually the first series that got me back into collecting manga. For a long time I had a ton of One Piece and a ton of iShield 21. They will be coming eventually. And I got this one as a birthday present. I really wanted to read it. I think I read it illegally up to like volume 6 or 7, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy them. And I got it first 4 or 5 volumes as a birthday present, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy them as and when they come out. I think I caught up to I think it was 8 or something at the time, and just bought them. Absolute funny, hilarious series that is just so much fun to read. And honestly, I love this design in the collection. And they're just short books, they're just short little manga. This one's a little bit, I think this is the one where it's actually starting to fall apart. I've reread this series a lot of times. But it's a funny short one, and you can read a volume in about half an hour to an hour, and it's one that I managed to return to quite a few times because it's worth it. It's absolutely worth reading. If you want a fun, hilarious little title, I would definitely recommend it, because she's just a girl who you just feel sorry for, but she's a horrible girl in general. So in fact, this is the one that's fallen apart. I think. No. One of them is falling apart. I bought it pre-owned. I think it must be volume 9, because I think one of them's fallen apart. That's all I'm going to say. It's been read that many times, it's starting to fall apart. But honestly, I can't get over enough how awesome this series is. And I would definitely recommend everybody who wants a fun comedy to check it out at some point. Next up, it's our favourite little sister. That's right, we have Himoto Umaru-chan, a series that I just covered quite recently on the channel, so I'm not going to get too much in depth on it. She is the best, worst little sister, and honestly, again, this falls into the category of It's a fun series. It's just, you can just sit there and enjoy it, and you know what? That's all you want some days. There's going to be a lot of that because most of my collection is this slice of life, ecchi, or just kind of comedy ones, because I decided I'm going to die on this rock of comedy. You will not find Vinland Saga in this collection. Maybe if I do a digital version. You will not find Berserk. You'll not find Tokyo Ghoul. In some ways, I'm probably the most unique person on the scene. You all hate me now, don't you? Darn. Next up is a series that I absolutely love, and it's so hilarious and is easily the best ongoing superhero series out there. Yes, I will die on that rock too. This is Precarious Woman Executive Miss Black General, and this is an absolute hilarious comedy. A trial of errors, and it's honestly getting really good. It's getting absolutely hilarious as Miss Black General continues her world domination conquest and just trying to bed the superheroes. The superheroes, we need something more relaxing. So we've got Laid Back Camp, which is, as you can probably expect, one of my most favourite manga of all time. And honestly, if I had to get rid of a lot of this collection, this would be one of the series that I would continue going. I'm up to date on it. The next volume's not out for a long time. I think the volume 9's literally only just came out in Japan, so we're not going to see that for a while. But honestly, I absolutely adore this series so much. It's just one of those ones where you can just have a nice smile on your face and enjoy it. I say it's volume 9, I might actually only be volume 8. I know that we are pretty much caught up, but if you want camping, if you want slice of life, you can't go much wrong with Laid Back Camp. And honestly, I would still say this is one of the most beautiful series out there. There's not really much that can hold a candle to it, at least in my opinion. Of opinion may vary. Next up, we have Howling Moon. Next up, we have High School of the Dead, Volume 1. I actually really wanted to do a massive thing on High School of the Dead. Back at the very beginning of the year, I was doing some really interesting work with both Umaru-chan and High School of the Dead. Neither of them came into fruition, but I did pick up Volume 1 of High School of the Dead. I actually owned the entire thing at one point, but I'm sure I sold it back when I was stopped collecting manga and I didn't have the space. But now I've got the space, I'm kind of like, do I start collecting it again? Over to you, boffins, let me know. But it's a classic manga now. It's a classic, at least it's a classic anime. It's ecchi and it's zombies. What more do you want? A cohesive plot. Yes, that's probably what people want. Next up is probably the newest thing I'm collecting in the quintessential quintuplets, and I actually did a review on this not so long ago. But yeah, we've got Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is actually ongoing for me. I've only just started reading Volume 3. I read Volume 2 the other day and I was just like, you know what? I love this series. I'm going to buy more of it. Season 2 coming soon. Huzzah! Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Next up, we start the Monster Girl series with Plus Size Elf. Title, I've talked about this one a lot. If you've not started reading this one, then if you like Monster Girls, definitely check it out because it's an absolute hilarious title. I'm really looking forward to the anime that has not yet been announced, but yeah, you can go. It's easily one of my top series for this year. Easily. Such a fun series. Such a fun series that I would really recommend you if you like your Monster Girls and your exercise things, because two things come together in a weird sort of way that's just managed to work. Huzzah! Next up is another title that got me into collecting manga. I know I've been collecting manga for a long time, but I actually stopped, but I started again because of a few series, and this was one of the series. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Yes, I got into it when everybody else got into it a few years ago, and Volume 1 was out, and it was kind of just like sitting there. It's like, I think Volume 1 and Volume 2 may have been out at the time, and it was just sitting there, and I was just like, oh, I might as well read it, and I read it, and the things began. All of them spin-offs. So yeah, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, if you've never read it before, if you've never heard of it, is about a young woman who gets a live-in Dragon Maid, and it's all of these slice of life fun adventures. It's a Yuri technically, and the woman ends up with a family that she never thought she would have before. It's really hilarious, it's really fun, it's really over the top, but honestly I would definitely recommend it if you love it. They're quite a bit ahead of what the anime is as well, so I think we've pretty much got season 1 and season 2, maybe a little bit more than that in here. And with Dragon Maid comes the spin-offs, so yes, we also have Kana's Daily Life spin-off. Plenty of them. In fact, I think volume 6 might be out of this. And volumes 1 and 2 of Elma's Office Lady Diary. I believe we're actually getting another spin-off as well, but yeah, more spin-offs indeed. Next up is Uzukichan Wants to Hang Out. I've spoken about this one a lot again. Absolutely hilarious manga. Again, we're seeing that little theme of, yeah, this collection is basically ecchi and comedy stuff, because why not? I collect stuff that I'm actually going to reread. Also, Kimono Friends. I've not even discussed this one at all. This one has been a pick up in the last few weeks. And yes, this is essentially season 2 of Kimono Friends. There is no real season 2. Just this. Nothing else. More fun. If you like the actual anime of the season 1, you will enjoy this one, Kimono Friends a la carte, because it's just more fun stories with all of our favourite little characters. Next up is a series that I started collecting and then just didn't. Cells at Work and Cells at Work Code Black. I might collect Code Black more than Cells at Work, because it's more because I'm enjoying Cells at Work Code Black. I feel Cells at Work is one that I'm going to end up getting eventually as things go on. It's just at the moment I've already got Cells at Work, so it's just Code Black. I've not purchased before. I've got these digitally. I was like, oh, I fancy buying them. Then I kind of like, maybe not. Next up is a title that I've not spoke about much at all. Nurse Hitomi's Monster Infirmary. This one was a really nice one. I've only got volume 1, but it was recommended by a few people, and I read it, and it was like, it was pure and innocent, and it was about like just being happy with who you are, even though you may be a monster girl or boy. Really enjoyed this one. I'm hoping to pick up a few more volumes, and I'll do a full massive review on it soon. But for now, volume 1, definitely recommend it if you like your monster girls. Ah, yes, the one that causes all of the controversy. Yoona and the Haunted Hot Springs. Yeah, this one's decent. It's decent enough. I kept meaning to do a video for this for Halloween, and it's just one thing led to another, and I just never had the time to even finish it off. It became like very dramatic, and I kind of didn't want to cover it when it was getting a lot of drama, but then I was kind of like, oh, that probably is the best time I could have covered it. Oh well. Yeah, it's just another kind of fan service title. It does its job. It's anything particularly amazing, to be honest, when it comes to fan service stuff. It's just yeah, it's just a kind of another fan servicey series that we've all seen before. We've all seen it before. Ah, we've seen this one a few times, haven't we? Yes, this is Silver Spoon Volume 1 by Hiromu Araraka, from the person who created Full Metal Alchemist, and I will say that every single time I review this. Fantastic series, absolutely hilarious. It's a nice coming of age agricultural farm kind of thing with hard-hitting themes such as will or will they not eat the pig. Yes. Honestly, it's an absolute joy to read, and I would really recommend everybody who enjoys Full Metal Alchemist to pick this one up, because quite frankly, in my opinion, it is the better of the two series. A lot of stuff in this will hit you more at home than Full Metal Alchemist did, and that's not to say Full Metal Alchemist is a bad series. I just feel like this one is significantly better. And that's when everyone's just kind of like, yes, I'm going to stop reading this because you don't know what you're talking about. Next up is an absolute fantastic read in this corner of the world. I must reread this one again because it's absolutely amazing. Telling the story of a young woman in Japan during the war. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's an absolute fantastic read. Go read it. In fact, this is going to be a lot of things. Just read everything and enjoy everything. After that, we have Azumanga Daioh. Yes, I absolutely loved this when I read it years ago, and I reread it about last year, and its tail ended into a certain other series, which will be coming very shortly. But yeah, Azumanga Daioh, it's the entire thing in one collection. I can't not own that. Well, I cannot own it, but I'd be quite sad not knowing that I could own it. After that, we have Kimono Friends. Welcome to Japari Park. This is another anthology from Kimono Friends, and yeah, I wanted more Kimono Friends content, and this is like a prequel kind of thing to the series. Absolute fun, a lot of fun in fact. Definitely would recommend it if you like the series. That we have Interspecies Reviewers, which has just so happened to be probably, I think that's the video on Interspecies Reviews just hit like 2,000 views, so thank you for that. Who knew that monster girls prostitutes would be so popular with the world? It's almost as if everybody loves boobs. Series I don't really comment much on is Kaiju Girl Caramelize. It's a nice series. I really enjoyed it. I've actually just got volume 2. The reason it's not in there is because my friend borrows it, along with both the Overlord spin-offs as well. They've borrowed them, so this isn't actually my entire manga collection. I lied. But yeah, Kaiju Girl Caramelize, absolute fantastic shoujo title. Read it. You know when you get 3 for 2 and you get you get a third one for free? This is what Gangster was to me for a while, until Call Me Can't Communicate came along. I actually bought this on the back of the whole drama of that the person who created it said that they weren't making enough money to even break even because there was that many people just stealing stealing it. So I kind of felt bad, and I was like, you know what, I'll get volume 1 and I'll get volume 2 on 3 for 2. I got them for free. Supporting the industry! After that we have Skullface Bookseller Honda-san, which I covered a few months ago now. I enjoyed this one, I really enjoyed it. It's only 4 volumes long. I believe volume 2's out, but I've never actually picked it up yet. I probably should. If you work in the industry, if you work in sales, you will have some kind of attachment to this series because, yeah, it's very much kind of a thing that you've already seen before. Next up is another title that I really want to be collecting more of, and that is Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui. I've only got volume 1 and volume 2, but I do hope to get the rest of it very soon. In fact, this and Quintessential Quintuplets, I'm thinking I'm going to get money for Christmas, and I'm thinking I might just splurge and spend and get up to date on these. My shelves are actually looking very full at the moment, so I'm kind of like, I don't have the space for everything. Oh dear. Next up, I have the title which I've probably discussed most this year, Yotsuba, and yes, obviously I had to get all of these. It's easily been my favourite series of the year, even comparable to stuff like Dr. Stone and One Piece, where they've been ongoing, but I've just been absolutely loving this. It tells the story of a young child who just enjoys everything and enjoys the simple things in life that we take for granted. If there's anything in this collection that I would recommend everybody should read and everyone should own, it is definitely Yotsuba. Possibly Laid Back Camp as well. But yeah, this is one that it just gets better and better. I mean, you can see just from looking at the volumes that the artwork is just getting better and better over time. And the stories have just been so fun and so great. I'm actually even considering rereading the whole thing again because it's been at least 3 months. Up we have some anthologies, and this is Tiger and Bunny, the anthologies part 1 and part 2. I absolutely adore Tiger and Bunny. It's one of my most favourite series of all time, and you know what, if I did an anime of the decade thing, it would come very close to the top, if not possibly at the top. If you've never seen it before, it's superheroes, except it's kind of like a Big Brother situation. They're all branded in order to pay the money and stuff like that, and it was absolutely fantastic. We're getting a 2nd season as well, so absolutely so excited for this. These are just some really nice stories. They're kind of like the Kimono Friends a la carte and the Overlord ones and stuff like that, where it's just simple stories that we can kind of talk about. And yeah, great. I have not read these in a long time. In fact, it's probably been about 5 years. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the stuff that's coming up now is stuff I've not watched and read in a long time. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit fuzzy. Up is Frank and Fran. That's right. I've not spoke about this one for a long time. In fact, I don't think I've spoken about this one at all. It's one of those series that I started reading and I kind of just went, oh, I like this. And then I was kind of like, yeah, I got the whole thing and then it kind of fizzled out by about halfway through. And yeah, it was one of those ones that I was kind of like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything particularly special. If you like Blackjack and body horror and stuff like that, the first few volumes, in fact, probably the first half, will do you well. The second half, not so much, but yeah, it's, if you want that kind of thing, it's decent. It's not as ecchi as you probably, it makes it look as well. I think it's one of those ones where it's toned down and then kind of just got cancelled. No. Yeah. I don't really want to talk about this one anymore. I don't even know why it's still in my collection. I probably just need to sell it off. To be honest, some of these I'm kind of like ones where I'm debating whether or not to keep them or not. But yeah, it's this wasn't a fun series at all. Objection! These ones are ones where I bought them. Oh god, I bought these a long time ago. In fact, before I even was really collecting manga, I bought them because I was proper into Phoenix Wright, and I don't even remember even reading these. They're just anthology stories, but yeah, they're just anthology stories. Phoenix Wright, if you like Phoenix Wright, you'd enjoy it. It's one of those series I absolutely loved years ago, but I don't dislike it now, but I'm kind of like, I'm lukewarm on it. It's one of those series whenever a new game comes out, I'll buy it and enjoy it and fall in love with it, but I kind of forget about it along the way. I Am a Hero. I Am a series that I was going to invest in, but then decided not to, and I would happily invest in if Dark Horse was sorted out their digital service. Yeah. Urusei Yatsura, an absolute iconic series and one that I felt was absolutely important to have in my collection because I am that man who has Ecchi's titles. Yeah, great series. Again, it's another one I'm probably not going to collect because, well, it's 2 volumes in one, and I think it's like 24 volumes, and I'm kind of like, I was running out of space, and I was like, I did find out that they do it digitally, so I'm kind of like, I might just get it digitally, to be fair. Nothing wrong with that. It's just one that I'm kind of like, I was enjoying it, but I was kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to collect it, and I think I'll talk myself out of buying more volumes. I really should buy more volumes. Hopefully Viz have a decent sale on over Christmas. You know that series that you just want to have the entire thing of, and you started collecting, and then the whole thing went out of print? That's right, I have Blackjack. Honestly, Blackjack is a title that I absolutely adore. I absolutely love it. I love how serious and dark it is. But unfortunately, things kind of got in the way, and well, I bought them at the wrong time. I got volume 1 to 5 easily, then I managed to get volume 11 and volume 17. So yeah, I'm missing an absolute ton of Blackjack, and you know what, I probably could find them here and there, but honestly, I'm really hoping that Vertical will come to their senses and just re-release the entire thing. Really, I mean, it's one of the most iconic series out there, and it's an important series, but for some reason they just don't want us to even own it. So yeah, for now, Blackjack sits on my shelf and kind of hope that the rest of them will be released someday. Speaking of Tezuka, I have the Book of Human Insects. Yeah, this one was weird. I also have Captain Kane, Volume 1 and Volume 2. These were like £5 or something. Haven't read them. Next I have Volume 1 of Nietzsche Jaw. Yeah. Nietzsche Jaw's a weird one because I really wanted to get into it. And then I read it. I didn't get into it as much as I expected to. I mean, it was fine and all, but I don't know. Maybe I feel like I need to watch the anime. I'm going to pick up the anime next payday, and then if I enjoy that, I might go back and get them. It is on my radar to have the rest of them, but for now, I'm kind of like, Yeah, maybe. For now, maybe not. Again, it's another one. If it was digitally, I would buy the entire thing. But Vertical, in fact, it might be digitally. I don't know. In fact, I think Vertical's the one where it's digitally is like exactly the same price as physically. Ugh. We don't like them. Next up, we have Don't Meddle With My Daughter. I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Avengers. It's essentially just a porn, but it's one that everyone seemed to enjoy it when I actually covered this one. About a few months ago when I was first started doing videos, these ones really took off. So yeah, thank you to everyone who helped my channel take off. I want to cover these ones a little bit more, but it's I might do it in the near future. But yeah, I enjoyed it more than Avengers. Next up is that wrestling series, you know, Monsteresslyn. This is another one that, again, a lot of people that enjoy. You know what, it's one of those ones that I wanted to enjoy, but I think the artwork just kind of put me off a little bit. And, yeah, that's about it. So, I can hear you all shouting at the screen going, this is just ecchi, this is just perverted stuff. Where is the serious stuff? Well, I tell you, I own 2 copies of Pluto. That's right, I am a serious manga collector because I own 2 volumes of Pluto. I already read volume 1. I was going to read volume 2. I really enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed the series. But I don't know why. The reason being is because of the way my shelves are stacked. This one got pushed to the back and I kind of forgot all about it. I'm going to make an effort to read the second one, and again, I don't know if I want the full thing. I enjoyed it, but again, it's space, and I'm kind of like, I enjoyed it enough. Again, I'm probably just committing some kind of crime by saying I genuinely don't know if I want to own the whole of this. Not bad or anything, I just don't know if I've got the space, and you know what? Monsteresslyn takes priority. No, I'm going to try and read more of it. I'm probably going to reread from the start, and then I'm going to try and see if I can get the rest of it, because I feel it's one that I probably should own. Next up is a title that I started, in fact this was one of the first ones I started reviewing, was Mononoke Sharing, by the same person who does Miss Dragon Maid. I don't think it's quite as good as Dragon Maid, but it's still a lot of fun, and yeah, that's about it really. That's all I'm going to say about it. Next up we have Please Tell Me Galko-chan. Yeah, another one I picked up. I picked up on purpose because I think volume 3 went out of print and I was just like, oh, I better run and get the rest of them. I haven't even read anything more than volume 3. This is a lot of fun. Beast Senpai comments on it as it's a girl thing about girls talking about girly things. I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. I love a lot of the little comments and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a fun series. I just haven't really had the time to read it. I might read it next. I think it might be my next one to pick up. Next up, it's time to talk about that series. Yes, Monster Musume. Everyone knows this one. It's an absolute classic, isn't it? Yeah, I own this, but I don't own all of Pluto. Think about that for a second. But yeah, it's Monster Girl stuff. It's the Monster Girl one, I suppose. But yeah, it's honestly, I love this series. I know it hasn't been particularly amazing over the last few arcs, but it's one where I can still enjoy it for what it is, and that's just Monster Girl smut. Because yes, sometimes you just need that in your life. Just a fun, happy, ecchi title that you can just read and enjoy. I will go back and cover all of these. In fact, I'm going to reread the entire series eventually because it's been some time. But yeah, I was covering every single one of these volumes, but then I kind of stopped. I'm thinking of going back and doing them because even the old videos on it weren't particularly amazing, and there's more stuff I kind of want to do with them. Yeah. Also, I got Monster Musume. I love Monster Girls. Yay! I've had these for quite some time, but honestly, I haven't even read most of them. Yeah, most of them are still sealed. In fact, that's quite bad. I think that's bad of me because I bought these when I bought the rest of the series. Also, Volume 15 came. Yay! Up we have probably the most ongoing series that I've got, and that is Dr. Stone Volume 1. And Volume 2. and volume 3 and volume 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yes, I have all of Dr. Stone so far, and honestly I love this series so much because out of all of the shonen that's ongoing at the moment, this one, I don't know, I just feel so different. It feels so different to everything else, and yeah, it's deserving of place on my shelf. In fact, it's going to be the only ongoing Shonen Jump series that you're going to find in this video. I say ongoing because there is another one that will come up later on that is in my collection, which is quite old now. So we have Girls and Panzer, Little Army, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I've already read Volume 1. I absolutely love Girls and Panzer. However, the manga wasn't anything particularly amazing. This is like a prequel, but yeah, I mean, it's good enough. It's a prequel to the series, but I was kind of a little bit bored with it. I've also got Girls and Panzer, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 and Volume 4. This one is a little different to the anime. It's the same story of the anime, however it's kind of in an alternative. It's from Yukari Best Girl rather than from Miko Second Best Girl. These ones are quite hard to find. I think this is a library copy, in fact. But yeah, I've already read like Volume 1 and Volume 2. Probably should get back to that. It's one of those ones I really wanted to have a huge, massive Girls and Panzer video get done, and I was going to cover the whole thing, but it just didn't happen. I will cover them eventually because I feel like they're at least deserving of that. Not quite as good as the anime, but it's got Best Girl in, hasn't it? So you kind of have to read it. Next up is Volume 2, Volume 3 and Volume 1 of Komi Can't Communicate. Yes, yeah, it's called Me Can't Communicate. Everybody else has discussed this. This is my freebie one. Originally it was Gangster, but now it's this for my freebie one because I like freebie stuff. When you get 3 for 2, I usually buy Golden Camry and Dr. Stone, and I get Call Me Can't Communicate as the freebie one because yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. I prefer Watamote, no matter how much I look at it, it's your guys' fault I'm not popular to this one, but both are still absolutely fantastic. Next up is Barakamon. That's right. Honestly, I love this series. I bought the entire thing. It's one of the, in fact, I think it's probably one of the first series in a long time that I actually bought the entirety of the full series. Absolute fantastic. I'm not going to show everything because it's going to take ages just to shuffle through, but yeah, if you love Barakamon, I would, the anime, I would definitely recommend picking this one up. In hindsight, I kind of wish I bought it digitally, but I think I was about 12 volumes in when I kind of started going from physical to digital, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to finish it off. If I see a really good deal or something for it all digitally, I might do it and then just sell this off as a bundle, but yeah, I'm not going to do that at this point. It takes pride in the back of my closet because I'm not going to reread it in any time soon, but it was still an absolute fantastic read. You know what? I bought this in a bundle years ago and I've never actually read it. Full Metal Panic is one of those series I absolutely adored and got me into anime and manga properly. And I love the light novels. I just got volume 1 to 5. In fact, you know what it is? I paid about 10 quid for the entire lot of these one time when I was at MCM. I think it was MCM Birmingham. He just wanted rid of them. I was like, how much is it for the lot? And he was like, oh, give us 10 quid or whatever. And I was just like, oh, sure, yep, fine. And then I carried them home, put them on my shelf and never looked at them ever again. Yeah, I don't know, it's when I was kind of impulse buying stuff. I don't think I would ever get rid of them though at this point. I don't know if there's any more either. I didn't really investigate. I was like, this was before I even was collecting stuff seriously. I was just kind of like, yep, I'm just going to buy these and then have fun with them. Yeah. It's a Gundam manga. Yes, I collected volume 1 to volume 3 of Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. I will get back to this, but honestly, I read volume 1, loved it, and then bought volume 2 and 3, and then never read them, so I was kind of like, I'm not going to buy any more. Originally I was going to be buying them physically once a month, just to kind of catch up, but then I kind of stopped and I was just like, oh, I can't be bothered to pay like 20 quid for one volume that's just going to sit on the shelf. Once I read these two, I will go back to it. I actually have been wanting to catch up on Gundam again, so yeah, I was going to rewatch it, but then I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm going to reread it instead. They're absolutely beautiful books though, look at that. I mean, look how nice those are. Nice, thick books, almost as thick as plus size itself. But one I want to talk about is Pokemon. Yes, I collected Pokemon Adventures, much to the ire of pretty much everybody who is serious about manga collecting, because only children buy the Pokemon ones, and me. I was a bit on a Pokemon kick a few weeks ago, so I caught up with all of them, and now I want the Johto one, but I don't have the space for all of the Pokemon ones, so I'm kind of like, I don't want to buy another box set before I've got some space. I'm going to clear a lot of the manga out that I'm not fussed about, but yeah, I don't know if I want to just buy a huge massive chunk of these or not. Next up is the series I want to talk about, Eyeshield 21. I actually own the entire of Eyeshield 21, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to cover it on this video. Well, I kind of am. I'm not going to show them all individually, I'm going to show them on the shelf. We've got volumes 2 to 17, and volumes 18 to 37. Yeah, this is the one series I probably would never get rid of, because it's Eyeshield 21. You can't even get it digitally, which is annoying. Also, we have Love Hina, which is actually the second manga I collected all the way through after Suikoden. Yeah, you can tell what time it was. It's the only Tokyo Pop ones I've still got. I've got Suikoden somewhere, but I don't know where. Also, volumes 1 to 5 of the Ace Attorney manga and Kino's Journey Volume 1. The reason I'm showing it like this is because the battery on my camera is running out, and I can't be bothered to pull all of these out, and it'll take forever just to go through them all. Also have Golden Camry Volumes 1 to 12. That's right, volumes 1 to 12 of Golden Camry. Again, I'm not going to pull them all out. If you need to see what Golden Camry looks like, well, you can Google it. Also, 3 for 2. Yes, that sticker rears its ugly head once again. Finally, we have the stuff that's in here, which is, let's face it, it's One Piece. The Japanese ones. And also Prison School. That's right, Prison School. I just didn't want to pull everything out. These little flump sausages are all in the way, guarding the Prison School. I've also got a few little odd titles here from Japan, such as the Otter 11 spin-off. I think that's more of a light novel, to be honest, but it's mainly One Piece and Prison School. And that is my manga collection. As you can probably see, we do have a light novel collection as well, which, yeah, that's also pretty substantial. But that's time for another video. Let me know in the comments what you have in your collection that you are proud of, and if you like this, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.